Hey, what's up guys? And first of all, if you would like to support me and the channel, my PayPal will be in the description. So thank you very much. Now I'm back with something new for you guys to enjoy. I got this idea a long time ago, and here it is finally guys. What if Naruto was Jashin Ōtsutsuki? Yes, guys, the legendary historic figure that Hedon worship, the one that grant him immortality. Let us change that concept and turn him into a Otsutsuki. And what if that Otsutsuki was Naruto? Well, it's gonna be a whole lot of chaos. After all, Naruto Uzumaki's already existed in the world. So, let us change it and change him at the same time, while retaining who he is. Well, if you would like to find out the rest of this and the premise, just sit back, relax, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. And don't forget to go ahead and check out the other channels. Links will be in the description, so yeah. Without further ado or wasting more time, let's begin this now, guys. We begin this new series with Kakashi Hatake as his gaze looked towards the memorial stone where all the names were etched into. One name in particular though, as he focused on it, Minato Namikaze. How could things have gone so badly, so quickly? Flashback. At the land of Wave, residing on the bridge, there was members of Team 7, along with their opponents, Haku and Zabuza. In the moment, Kakashi Hatake was clashing with Zabuza. He was winning. Unknown to him though, over the other side, Naruto had bested Haku, but even when he got the chance to kill Haku, he did not. He stopped himself. It was then that Naruto learned what kind of person Haku truly was, as he dubbed himself a broken tool, despite Naruto refusing to end his life. Naruto saw exactly what Haku desired in that moment. As Kakashi Hatake was about to end Zabuza, the Chidori clashing around his hand, he was about to end the man right here and now. However, Naruto pushed off. His body was still coming off the high of the Nine Tails chakra. Thus, his speed was immaculate. Breezing through, Naruto saw Kakashi was about to impale Zabuza, but Haku was emerging from his mirror. Kakashi had no time to stop. Naruto tapped deeper into the fox power without realizing, his eyes turning red, his whiskers thicken. He blitzed forward. Upon doing so, he crashed into Haku, the one mistake that would change everything. Haku was stunned. Kakashi, Chidori nicked Naruto on the shoulder. You could see the tearing of flesh. It did not pierce him, but it did tear across his arm. The pain that hit Naruto caused him to fumble and twist as he threw Haku down to the ground, but he twists and moved backwards, his feet hitting the side of the bridge, falling over. Kakashi's eyes went wide as Zabuza got free and swung. Kakashi had to jump away. He tried to dive in, but Zabuza was constantly trying to slash him. Haku struggled to get to his feet, exhausted and in pain. The battle with Naruto, despite Naruto not ending him, had left him severely depleted and weak. However, as his eyes focused on the water where the boy just fell into, they had to stop. They had to stop. For the first time, he decided to make a choice that wasn't given to him. He was alive, and there was only one reason why he was alive. Despite the pain that he was feeling, he ran. Jumping into the water would lead to the both of their deaths, but he could stop the fight and allow someone to save him. He ran and stopped in front of his master. Zabuza's blade was inches away from decapitating him. "Stop! Both of you stop!" he begged them. Kakashi Hatake was gazing towards the edge, ready to jump off, worrying about his students behind him and worrying about the one overboard ready to jump off and save him. "You have to help him now," Haku said. End of flashback. Kakashi Hatake stood there. Naruto's body was nowhere to be found. He couldn't understand. It made no sense. He fell in the water right there. There was no way that the current was that powerful enough to pull him away so quickly. Kakashi searched, but found himself unable to find anything. He searched, raged and searched. The copy ninja was frustrated and angry when he saw the boat. The boat of ninjas. Well, thugs. Thugs that belonged to none other than Gato. When they saw him, they tried to get in his way. It's been a long time since Kakashi tapped into that darkness that he had back then. But on that day, Kakashi Hatake slaughtered over 50 plus thugs with nothing but his kunai. He got slashed and stabbed, but he showed no pain, he showed no fear. Gato ran away, only to run into Zabuza. He tried to bargain with him, but Zabuza knew that he was here to play him. After all, why did he bring so much man? There was no hesitation there. Zabuza removed his head. Sakura and Sasuke came along, terrified as they saw. They saw Zabuza standing there, but he took Haku. They were going to leave. However, Haku was standing there, observing the copy ninja search, looking for Naruto, but nothing. Zabuza was not here to waste time as he told him to come now. He listened and they left. However, Haku was worried. That boy, praying that his sensei found him, to believe that they were supposed to be enemies. When the other two arrived, Tazuna behind them, they were confused. Seeing Kakashi on the water surface, struggling to stay afloat, he was extremely low on chakra. Naruto was gone. The copy ninja could not explain it. Returning back to the village without Naruto was something that hit him deep, extremely so. Images of him returning back without Ren Nohara hit him. Images of him returning back without Obito Uchiha hit him. And now, 2 days have passed by, and yet Hiruzen Sarutobi send out ninjas to search everywhere. Those that were proficient in diving to search the bottom of the goddamn sea. However, they've covered so much grounds and yet absolutely nothing. Naruto Uzumaki was gone. He was gone. Kakashi Hatake was alerted by the heavens immediately turning black. It was just sunny a moment ago. Booming thunder. Kakashi saw lightning, gold, white, blue, pink. What the hell? All sorts of rays of colors of lightning ripping through the heavens. This weather was unnatural as rain started to pour. Perhaps he gazed up towards the heavens as he looked down with pure disappointment as the rain soaked him. Time skip. A week passed by, and nothing. Just like that, Naruto Uzumaki was MIA. Hearing that, the news started to spread. There was some that disliked the child. Some of them even felt relief because they fear what he contained. However, he was a shinobi of Konoha, putting his life on the line constantly to save the people, doing missions. He always pushed himself, always trying to show that he would achieve an almost impossible goal of becoming the Hokage. The Anvus and the Shinobis, they respected that, without a doubt. However, as the news broke within Naruto's friend circle, it was a shocker. Kiba Inuzaka was shocked to hear the words. Naruto, the loudmouth idiot that was always motivated, always ready to go. He refused to believe it. Naruto was a pal of his. During the academy, they used to pull a lot of pranks. He believed that Naruto was still alive. As for Shino Abermi, Shino believed that Naruto was an okay guy. Perhaps a bit too loud and a bit too bright. Not in terms of knowledge, but in terms of his clothing and overall personality. But he seemed to be an okay guy. And he wasn't grossed out by the bugs either. However, their third teammate took it the hardest. Hinata Hyuga had a full breakdown. You see, Naruto Uzumaki was the one that she draws strength from. The one that she was obsessive with. She watched him. She watched him constantly. He never gave up. He never backed down. He never gave in. No matter what people say, no matter how hard things are, he always overcome it. Hinata was shattered. It affected their team progress in every single way. The girl was shattered, seemingly beyond repair. Shikamaru Nara started to think about his own life. A shame if someone like Naruto could be, well, killed. What does that say for someone like him? He wasn't the flashiest, he wasn't the most important. If anything, he wasn't even the strongest or anything of the sorts. As Naruto's death, while it hit him, it got him to think about a lot. Wondering if he was truly cut out for this ninja thing. Perhaps it was his way of coping with the death of Naruto, who was a friend and a comrade as well. Choji was sad. He was sad to hear it. Him and Shikamaru and Naruto used to hang out in the past, and he was sad to hear about Naruto's death. Ino, she wasn't close or anything with Naruto, but he was still a ninja of Konoha. He was a friend in the academy, in a way. Hearing about anyone close to you death, well, it always takes a toll. As for the closest members, Team 7, Sakura she was pretty messed up over it. He was a buffoon, he was an idiot, but still, he was a friend. He asked her out on so many dates. It affected her. As she was walking home, she could hear him. Sakura, wanna go to a date with me? She wasn't in love with him or anything like that. But he was a friend. A very close friend that encouraged her. When she was afraid to go to the land of wave, he said it. It doesn't matter. After all, we'll protect you. I'll always make sure that you're safe. So it affected her greatly. As for Sasuke, well, he just risked his life to save Naruto's. Instinct he called it, but he knew that Naruto was the only person that did not see him as the others. He was the only person that called him out on his bullshit. He was the only person that was willing to go toe-to-toe with him without hesitation. As much as they quarrel, as much as they pretend like they are sworn enemies, it was Naruto's bright personality that pushed Sasuke most of the time. As Naruto was growing so strong so fast, it was his goal to best him at every opportunity because he was an Uchiha. However, Sasuke did like what he always did. He bottled up his feelings. Kakashi Hatake was the same on that matter, but his feelings were showing due to his, well, rather dark demeanor. Team 7 was currently on standby. It's only been a week. At the office, Hiruzen Sarutobi did not know what to think about this. It is always a sad day when a shinobi dies, but Naruto wasn't any standard shinobi. And the fact that they could not find his body, that was extremely worrying. Hiruzen gazed through the window as he saw the heavens were crying once again. The weather has been truly unnatural lately. Nothing has been natural about this sudden burst of storm and chaos through the heavens. As he gazed up at the sky, if Naruto was indeed somewhere out there alive, he prayed that he find himself back to them, that he find himself back to the village. As he gazed towards a photo of Minato Namikaze, his one desire was for Naruto to be seen as a hero, but that never came through. Meanwhile, the place was being torn apart. There was a young man with white hair. His name was Kimimaru. He was holding his ground, his hand upwards as the violent wind blew. It almost took him off his feet. He had to apply chakra to his feet to remain standing. The weather was indeed unnatural because it was anything but natural. Ahead of him was his master, Orochimaru of the Sannin. Orochimaru stood in front of the crystal that had formed some time ago. However, finally, it was breaking. The Sannin had a grin on his face. After 1 week and a couple of days, it was finally breaking. He was going to be released. Orochimaru thought with pure delight, as he was so close to gaining what he searched for many years now, true immortality. You see, a couple of years back, Orochimaru came across Hidan, an immortal individual. Orochimaru was able to subdue him and ran experiments on him. Orochimaru did not believe in what he believed in. However, after months of constant probing and probing, absolutely nothing. Nothing to indicate why he was immortal other than what he was saying. Orochimaru tried to tap into his mind and his chakra, and that is when he first felt it. The essence of Jashin, Lord Jashin. He opened his eyes to possibility, to beliefs that were beyond shocking. They shook Orochimaru, they made him tremble as he saw all of his desires in front of him. All he needed to do was grant Jashin his freedom. Turns out this benevolent being was residing on this earth, locked away and confined. Orochimaru's personality seemed to be shifted the moment he was able to tap into Hidan and feel Lord Jashin's essence. Since then, Orochimaru made his way across the elemental nation, gathering small fragments of the tail beast's chakra. Whenever there was chaos or outburst, whenever there was chakra residue. However, Jashin needed a strong host. He needed the strongest one with the strongest tail beast. That happened to be Naruto Uzumaki. His spy within Konoha had been watching the boy for some time now. Orochimaru was keeping a close eye on the boy until he saw his moment. He could have taken Naruto at any time the moment they stepped foot out of the village, but Orochimaru did not want anyone to know that he was behind this. He had his reasons. When he saw the child falling into the water, the Sannin was already under the bridge. He knocked him out and sped towards the opposite side. racing past the girl as she did not even notice. He was watching them after all. The moment Naruto stepped foot out of Konoha, he was notified by his spy. Orochimaru brought Naruto to the temple, bound and unconscious and suppressed. The temple that was far deep within the mountain areas. He was able to access it just like Jashin said. He simply supplied it with his chakra, as it was basically a door that needed power to start. It opened up as he stepped inside. There was ruins and things that he could not read, and he believed that he's accessed almost every public knowledge, and yet the understanding of this. Orochimaru placed Naruto on the podium. The moment he did so, the child started to writhe in agony and twists. The next thing he knew, a bright light submerged the boy. When he was able to see once again, the boy was solidified in a black cocoon, crystallized, frozen. Orochimaru was waiting, refusing to move from this spot. His body was modified in ways where he did not need the basic human needs or having to go the basic human ways, so there was no problem. Kimimaro though, as much as he was loyal to his master, thirst, hunger, those things could still kill him. Orochimaru told him to go and return once he's able to stand once again. He brought Kimimaro along in case anything else was needed, as Orochimaru would not hesitate to sacrifice one of his most strongest for his desire. Kimimaro wasn't aware of this though. The heavens shook as Orochimaru felt the overwhelming, unbelievable power. They started to cry, they started to tremble, they started to electrify. It was pure madness as he stood there and observed all the chaos take place. And after so long of waiting, Orochimaru watched as the cocoon cracked, as it started to spiral cracks all over it, and then suddenly, boom! The effect spread across the entire mountain range. However, a moment later, all of it was sucked back in, forming together something spectacular. Orochimaru stepped forward as Naruto Uzumaki was seated on the concrete. His eyes were closed though. His body was pulsating with a strange energy. It was a mixture of purple and also blue, and there was a hint of red inside of it. Naruto got to his feet as he started to massage his temple. He turned his head to the side. "Who are you?" he said to himself. "What? What do you mean who I am?" "I'm Naruto Uzumaki." "Who are you?" "I am not this Naruto Uzumaki, and yet we seem bind to one another. I am Joshin Ōtsutsuki." "How is this possible?" There was not two people talking but one. Naruto was talking to himself. Orochimaru noticed that. He started to massage his temples even more. Something went wrong. Something went horribly wrong. You see, this process shouldn't have taken this long. But it was this form, this host. He spent 1 week of constant fighting. The power that was submerged and locked away. When it merged with him, it did not take over. Instead, it became one. His mind started to clear up. As he looked at his hands, he knew who he is. He's Naruto Uzumaki. However, he's also Joshin Ōtsutsuki as well. As he spoke to himself like he was mad, but far from it. The minds did not take over or separated. They merged. However, just waking up, it was simply rather confusing. You see, the power of Jashin was supposed to take over, but something went horribly wrong. There was a problem due to the seal and many other aspects that he was going to learn of very soon. However, Joshin Ōtsutsuki did not take Naruto as a vessel and become him. Instead, he merged with Naruto, simply unburdening Naruto from certain, responsibilities, certain emotional attachments. Naruto Uzumaki was a loving child who seeks nothing but acceptance, who seeks to become the Hokage, but Jashin Ōtsutsuki was a being beyond this world, a being of power that one could only ever even imagine. Orochimaru stepped forward, his feet cracking down on the pavement that was there, causing Naruto to look up towards him. "I remember you," Naruto said. Orochimaru watched him carefully as he went down to one knee. "I have granted you your freedom," Orochimaru said. Naruto started to chuckle. "Quite addictive, isn't it?" Orochimaru looked up. "My chakra. Quite addictive. Quite powerful. I mean, look at you. You're starving for another taste. And you don't even know it." Kimimaro overheard that. Kimimaro was too loyal. He seen the changes, but he did not make them public with his voice. He did not say anything about them, but he did see the changes. You see, Orochimaru wasn't a man that fall into other ideologies. He wasn't that naive, but for the past couple of years he's been obsessed with resurrecting a god that perhaps wasn't even real. He slaughtered his own that disobeyed his orders. He sacrificed everything in front of him. And for what reason? Orochimaru was a man of science, a man of understanding, and yet he went into this without truly thinking of the repercussions. Something was indeed wrong. After all, man he could understand. Chakra, power, yes, those were simple, but at the moment he wasn't dealing with an ordinary man. Don't be ashamed. All those that had a taste, they couldn't help it either. You're stronger, smarter, but you're still not better than them, Naruto said, moving around the Sannin. His rather small stature make it look rather, awkward in a way. In ideology, someone like Orochimaru showed triumph over Naruto, but that was not the same Naruto anymore. I must say though, out of all the others that has tried to resurrect me, you're the only one that actually succeed, and I will commend you for that, Naruto said as he stood behind Orochimaru. He shoved his hand through Orochimaru's back. Kimimaro sped forward, bones out, ready to attack. Naruto gazed, snapped towards them. However, Kimimaro dashed in and sent Naruto sailing into the wall. Naruto was against the wall, looking rather shocked. "It seems majority of my strength has not yet returned," he said. In his right hand, he was holding the heart of Orochimaru. Kimimaru's eyes went wide as Orochimaru's corpse clattered down. Kimimaru was stunned, his eyes wide, as Naruto picked up himself. Rage coursed through Kimimaru. "I'll kill you for that," he said. "Be quiet, child," said Naruto. "He's not dead. Well, in a sense," Naruto said, holding on to Orochimaru's heart. The tips of Naruto's nails became black as the heart in his hand started to turn black. Kimimaro stood there as he watched the heart started to beat. I am strong enough for this. Physically though, I'm much weaker than I expected," Naruto said, walking over and placing the heart back inside of Orochimaru. The back of Orochimaru started to heal as his head snapped to the sky. He was trembling, his eyes pulsating wide, black veins running through his skin. He was trembling. Pure bliss. like he was on cloud 9, trembling with an overwhelming sense. He snapped up to his feet as he turned his gaze towards Naruto. Oh, Orochimaru-sama, Kimimaro said, "You're alive." What did you do? Orochimaru said, ignoring Kimimaro. "I gave you what you desired," said Naruto. "I gave you immortality. Can't you feel it? That unknown strength coursing through you. That feeling of endlessness. That infinite loop, knowing that your existence is no longer bound to the simple concept of death." Orochimaru looked at his hands. Am I truly? "Yes, you are," Naruto said. The Sannin looked towards him. "What now?" he questioned. "You said your chakra was manipulating me. Is it still?" "Oh, that will not change. Much more now," said Naruto. "After all, if I were to say, kill him." Orochimaru spit out the Kusanagi blade and swing. Stop. The blade stopped inches away from Kimimaru's neck. Kimimaru was trembling. No hesitation, no delay. Orochimaru placed the blade down. What have you done to me? I have no control over my actions?" "Oh, it's just me, not anyone else. I gave you what you desire. I gave you immortality. And your heart will never stop beating," Naruto said, stepping towards him. "Even when it is destroyed, the concept of sound would never stop. It will go on for the rest of eternity," Naruto said, stepping towards him. "You see, I am not like any other Otsutsuki. I'm something special. Something better," said Naruto. "And for that, you should be grateful." "I am," Orochimaru said. "You've granted me what I've always desired." He looked towards Naruto as he bowed. He'd snapped his head towards Kimimaru. Kimimaru had no choice but to go down to one knee as well. Seeing his master manipulated was hitting him hard, but he was still loyal to his master. And as he fooled himself in saying that his master still had control over his actions when it has nothing to do with this. Could you even say that this person was a child anymore? "You question about what now?" said Naruto. "Go. Do as you desire. Kill as you must. Rain destructions on any nation that oppose you. Slaughter anyone that get in your way. Because they can't truly destroy what you are now." "And what about you?" Orochimaru questioned. "What will you do?" "I'm still not to full strength. But that doesn't matter. I'll be fine. After all, I'm going to go home." "I don't understand. You speak like you're still Naruto Uzumaki." "I am." "So, you are both?" "No, I'm one person. My mind is just a mess. But don't get me wrong, I am Naruto Uzumaki. I'm just different in many ways. I'll see you very soon. I hope this new form of immortality do you well," Naruto said as he vanished. Orochimaru and Kimimaru looked around. Now that he was gone, Orochimaru turned as Kimimaru spoke up. "My lord, I know that he grants you what you desire, but is it truly worth giving up your free will to him?" "Oh, trust me. I will find a way to shatter any loyalty that I might serve this individual, whatever he is. My words and control seem to be beyond me, but not for anything else. And I truly have what I've desired for ages now. And now everything's about to change," Orochimaru said, a smile on his face. "But what about him?" "I will deal with that later," the Sannin said, brushing the fact that he was being controlled aside. something the old Orochimaru would never, ever do. However, well, his control was not up to him, now was it? Time skip. Naruto reappeared a distance away. Unfortunate. I am this weak. I can't even cross the distance between this place and my home. Arriving here is rather pathetic, he said. He sat down. He knew who he was. He was just complicated right now. He was Jashin, but he also was Naruto. And he knew why it happened, as his mind was expanding beyond the normal human limits, breaking through human limitation. You see, Joshin Ōtsutsuki was no normal Otsutsuki. Long before Kaguya Otsutsuki set foot on the planet that is now known as the Elemental Nation, there was one amongst the Otsutsukis that broke a rather critical law of their clan. He was a very top class member. He did not devour worlds. He no longer found that appetizing. He started to go for something else. Life. Yes, he started to gain a taste for life itself in a different way that the other Otsutsukis did not agree with in the slightest. The Otsutsukis were all about evolving, evolution, being the best that they can be, but Jashin has always been different. He think beyond the box. He think beyond, in front, outside, inside the box. He was a special member of their clan. His power was different as well. While all of them had different abilities, his was extraordinary in many different ways. His thirst, starting down a path of going after even his own kind. Killing another Otsutsuki is allowed when it comes to the stronger members, wiping out the weaker ones, but devouring one of the top members, well, not just their chakra. You see, Otsutsukis have a way of returning back even after they've been devoured by the god tree. But Jashin did something beyond that. He did not just devour your chakra. It was your essence, your concept, your past, your present, your future. He was special in that way. He was beyond what they thought, and he was a reckless one of the clan. He was someone that would drink his entire clan away without battering an eye. If the word wicked came to mind, Jashin was the harbinger of the word. He was the one that brought it to reality. He was the one that brought it. He was the one that invented the concept. His ideology was seen as atrocious, even by the other Otsutsukis. You see, the Otsutsukis have a high order. Special members that retain themselves on their home world. But that was not important right now. They were not important. However, they came for him. They called all the others back. They attacked him. Not one at one. They all attacked him at once. His power was terrible, and they knew that. They sacrificed many of their own to bring him down. However, they failed to end his existence. In the last moment, he was able to tear a hole in space, throwing himself inside of it, traveling through different tiers in space, moving, jumping, moving, to lose them. And he crash landed on Earth. Yes, on the Elemental Nation. This was after Kaguya. After she was sealed away. After her son had gave chakra to the world. He was weak, wounded, battered. He needed to survive. He needed power. Seeing the planet so rich with power, he would suck it dry. However, it was then that Hagoromo Otsutsuki, son of Kaguya Otsutsuki, truly understand why his mother was so fearful that the ones beyond this earth would come once again. However, this one was wounded and weak. However, killing him was something that Hagoromo could not do. Killing a Otsutsuki was not a normal thing like killing a ninja, and Jashin was beyond the exception. He was something else. Hagoromo had to seal him away. He had to trap him for the rest of eternity. Because if he had his way, everyone would die. Hagoromo performed a seal, known as a truth cage. This was years after his mother was trapped away. He wanted to ensure that if another, threat rose, they would be ready, and the world would survive, so he created the seal, the truth cage, specially made. He trapped Jashin away under the world's pit, beyond time and stone, trapping away for the rest of eternity. Unfortunately though, this seal might be something that can work on Kaguya or lesser Otsutsukis, but Jashin was a monster. Over the years, his powers start to exist beyond the time that was trapped. He started to exist beyond the pit, spreading his influence little by little. It was his power. Think of it like a door. Behind it is a tsunami. The door is fortified, but the tsunami is so powerful that droplets were dropping out. And one droplet is enough to empower a human beyond their wildest imagination. Jashin started to speak to people due to his power. As he started to influence them, you see, his chakra was addictive. Humans have a taste of chakra, but his was like a drug, multiplied by 1,000,000 in their system. It completely erased their ambition for anything else. Their only desire after that is to free him. However, none of them knew how. And his knowledge was only acquired from their brain. And all of them were basic. Over the years though, he learned about what the so-called sage did. People went stupid after that, forgetting about legends. He had to live it all through their memories. However, each people that they killed in his name, due to his power coursing through them and their weapons, all that energy came to him. However, the seal blocked out most of it, but the amount that came to him allowed him to keep contact and even stronger connected to people. Time after time, his followers got put down. Most of them were buried underground. Most of them were locked away. He relinquished his power immediately from those that were captured, and they eventually died, of course. He found Hidan. Hidan was suited and right for his cause. However, Hidan wasn't strong enough. When Hidan got captured, he thought that this was the end, until the strongest one yet felt his power. He immediately allowed majority of his essence to sway Orochimaru. The moment he had a taste, he was attached, desperate for more, and he did not even know. A drug that he wasn't even aware he was taking. It swallowed him. It became a part of his personality. Orochimaru arrived. Unlike the others, the Sannin had his theories, and over the years, after seeing through the eyes of the people, after seeing through their minds, Naruto had his as well. You see, while his power could stretch, the time seal that the sage used, it stopped his power from fully restoring. So even with the sacrifices from then until now, it was so small due to majority of it being cut off that his power was, say, 5% out of 100 when he first came to the earth. And over the years that passed by, it rose to, say, 8%. The people were not strong in any single way. Their life force was weak, pathetic. He's used to devouring stronger beings, so their concept did not empower him, and plus, majority of it was knocked away by the seal. Thus, that is the reason why Naruto was so lacking on power at the moment. Orochimaru's obsession got him to hunt the tail beasts. Piece by piece, he gathered their power. The sage used the conduit of the tail beasts by replicating their power as the pack to be the perfect lock. This was a seal that he could perform on his own without his brother, and it was much stronger because it bound the individual beyond the concept of time around it. Unfortunately, the sage had no idea how truly powerful people in the known universe truly was. He thought his mother was powerful, but she was nothing. Even with her divine power after consuming the fruit, she was nothing to Jashin, absolutely dog water. When it came to her clashing against him, there was a reason why she was so terrified, a reason why she was so afraid of the Otsutsukis coming for her, a reason why she tried to build an army. But even then she was unsure, knowing the powers that just one of them possessed. And it was terrifying. Yes, it was. However, after all these years locked away, Orochimaru has freed him. He could feel his power slowly returning. The problem was, due to the years of trying to consume the essence of the people and the seal, blocking most of them away, most of their mind was conflicted with his, and due to his being so weak, he nearly lost his mind over the years. But he never allowed it to happen. But the vessel, Naruto Uzumaki, the Death Reaper seal that was tied to him, tried to restrain his power, as it saw him as an entity trying to enter the body, believing him to be just like the Nine Tails, but it was wrong. Unfortunately though, Naruto Uzumaki's will was so strong that he was able to fight off the mental intrusion, and the Death Reaper seal and the years of mind conflicts clashed together. As a week passed by, his mind stewed together and became one. There was a reason why hundreds were not dead just yet. Well, his lack of power was one of it, but well, he was not Joshin Ōtsutsuki alone anymore. But he was not Naruto Uzumaki anymore, but it was his body, and he would go by that name. However, his mind was just so conflicted. He knew things that he never knew. He understood things, and he understood that majority of these memories were also his. All of them were. You're me, and I am you. We are one, no longer two. Naruto kept on speaking to himself. I wonder, he said. He held his hand out, reaching up towards the heavens, but nothing happened. A far, 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 far distance away from the elemental nation, an unknown planet, the place started to tremble. The ground started to crack. Suddenly, something exploded out of it like a nuclear bomb, reducing everything around to ashes. As something shot into the sky, it ripped through space, literally, tearing through the concept of space due to the power that was inside of it. And only one man could wield this power. Ripping through the concept of space, it finally arrived, breaching into this section of the known universe. Tearing through the heavens, Naruto looked up, flying down towards him as it finally made contact with his hand. The effect of the force that it bring caused the ground to rupture around him, but he was completely safe. It kept him safe. The ground ruptured into pieces, cracking and destroying. Naruto stood there as he held something in his hand. It was a blade, a special sentient blade. It was a part of him, a part of his power. It retained a large part of his power. He lost it during the battle, as there was Otsutsukis with abilities that could nullify certain effects for a short period of time. He lost connection with his blade, and unfortunately he lost the battle before he could, well, call it back to him. But now, the blade wrapped around him, its aura, its power, as Naruto felt it. He could not withdraw his power from the blade. If he did, well, he didn't want to. However, Naruto turned his gaze towards a mountain that was ahead. He raised the blade in the sky and slashed downwards. With one single slash, the mountain was split in half as the slash tore through everything behind it, going on for miles. This was the power of a god. Unfortunately though, Naruto's arm was broken in at least 20 places. Due to the fact that the power was simply too much, his fingers had been blown off completely. The blade almost fell, but it levitated. And levitated behind him. Bone, muscle, tissues, skin. As Naruto's hand was fully regenerated in a matter of seconds. At least, that isn't a problem, he said, not concerning himself with the pain. He was still not strong enough to take on, well, most strong people on this planet. However, that was not his desire. Finally, after so many years, he was free. And he would get his revenge. However, for now, he was going to return back home. He wondered, how has Sakura and Sasuke been since he, well, went away? However, the same goofball, idiotic Naruto is not going to return. His mind was open now, and he wasn't the same. And he would never be the same ever again. As he vanished away. Time skip. This is really pathetic, Naruto thought. As he was walking, he was so weak. I know, he said. But I'm not gonna do that. I know that you're my will, but still. I like having you around, he said. Yes, my personality is different. I'm not the same person I once was. I'm a lot different now, and you should know that, Naruto said. As he was speaking to the blade, its name was Ether. No normal being could hear Naruto blade speak. Naruto was the only one that could actually talk to it, because they were linked. They were linked beyond space, they were linked beyond time. However, those damn Otsutsukis had all sorts of abilities. As Naruto made his way, someone jumped down. A masked ninja. As he wasn't alone, there were 3 others. Alright, you brat. Do us a favor and hand over what you have. Otherwise, we're gonna hurt you. Simple buffoons, Naruto said, as he kept on walking. They looked at one another. I think he's hard of hearing, one of them said, jumping down in front of Naruto. Yeah, maybe we should... He was confused. Why did he feel so? The others, eyes widened in shock, as they watched their comrades split in half. It seems I'm getting better, said Naruto. Well, that was a small portion of your power, but still. At least nothing happened to my hand, he said, as he spoke to Ether. The others lost it when they saw one of their own destroyed like that. There was no hesitation, no time wasted, as they threw kunais down with explosive tag, the sole interest of blowing Naruto to pieces. Unfortunately though, as the explosion set off, something was wrong. 3 of them jumped, but only 2 landed, as Naruto was holding the severed head of another. He looked at it and tossed it to the side, as he kept on walking, still not looking at any of them. They looked towards each other as they started to back away. Their leader and friend was dead. They ran for their life. There is no bother and no reason, Naruto said, as he had no intention of chasing them. After all, they served no purpose. He made his way off, leaving the 2 shocked individuals running for their life, constantly looking behind them to see if he was chasing after them, but, well, he was not. Not in the slightest, as Naruto continued on. Time skip. Yes, we're almost there, said Naruto, as he was currently Within the land of fire at the moment, he could sense his home. His powers of sensing were, well, truly extraordinary. Unfortunately though, while Naruto's power was pathetic in his opinion, to others, especially censors, it was frightening. And due to the fact that it was so small to him, he didn't bother concealing it. To the censors that were currently guarding the land of fire, to the censors that led into the Hidden Leaf Village. What the hell is that? Immediately, alarm was raised. Some sort of monster, or perhaps an army with so much power, was coming towards the village. Ether was not making things any better either, as the power of the blade was not being concealed due to its excitement of seeing its master once again. There was no concealment, there was never truly any. Naruto was a being that never feared anyone, never put up any rules or any way of hiding. He was a god, so why should he fear anyone lesser than him, or anyone even carrying themselves as a god either? However, flashing towards the gates, bypassing everything was rather easily. Unfortunately, the moment he teleported, they saw him as a threat even more. Naruto gazed towards the village. It's good to be home. He turned around and grabbed the weapon, as their nerves got the better of them. They were surprised though when they saw who it was. Naruto was holding a kunai in his hand. As he rested his thumb on the tip, he broke it. Seems I am regaining some strength, he said, as he tossed it to the ground. There's no need to be afraid. It is no enemy. It is just me, Naruto Uzumaki. Yes, I know. But I am Naruto now. I told you, I'm not the same person, Naruto said, arguing with Ether. Do you really think this is how I would behave if I was Jashin? I am him, but I am also Naruto Uzumaki. Ether was quite aware that his master was never like this. The way he spoke, the way he carried himself. Naruto's personality truly changed him a lot. But Ether did not care. This was his master, and he was back once again. Ether was connected to Naruto more than just his power after all. He was a part of Naruto. But he did not change because they were away from one another. But Naruto did. Well, Jashin did. The ninja stepped towards Naruto with caution despite seeing his face. Are you truly Naruto Uzumaki? One of them questioned. Naruto started to suppress his power. Yes, I am. Where have you been for the last couple of days? They were itching to draw their weapon, as they felt the sensation returning back to them. Just trying to find my way back home. Why do you speak to me with such suspicion? Am I not a ninja of your village? Am I not a shinobi of this land? You should speak to me much better than this, and yet, your eyes, they look so cautious. The Anbu was confused. How was Naruto seeing his eyes? But Naruto could see more than that. He could see everything. You have nothing to fear from me. I am not your enemy. I am simply a wandering ninja that has returned. That has pulled through death itself and returned. He said with a smile on his face. Now, is this going to be a warm welcome home, or perhaps some sort of, well, atrocity? He spoke. Ether knew that his master was really different. If this was the past, his master would split this village in half, just for their words alone. He would crush every single one of them under so much weight, until their bones could no longer take it, until their bones fused with their skin. So yes, this was definitely not his master. He was not what he was. But at the same time, he was his master. It was complicated, but at the same time, Ether was happy. As Naruto looked towards the ninjas, "Come with us," one of them said. They will escort him back. What these sensors felt was normal, and they can't be too cautious. And this boy has been missing for more than a week now. Not 2 weeks yet, but more than a week. To think, Naruto was able to cross the entire world in less than, well, 1 day. As the temple was, well, far, 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 far away from Konoha. Would take your standard perhaps a month or so to get to there. But not him, despite him claiming to be slow and weak. Well, in his term he was, but in others he was clearly not. Ether was levitating around Naruto, as the blade seemed to move on its own. That is what the Anvus thought, as they questioned Naruto on that immediately. "Oh, just a weapon I picked up," said Naruto, ignoring Ether's comment, calling him a weapon that he just picked up. "It's nothing bad. Actually, it's rather helpful," Naruto said. "Now, where exactly are you taking me?" "Be quiet," the Anvu said, as Naruto suddenly paused. The Anvu looked at him and saw the smile on his face, an unusual smile, as Naruto kept on walking once again. But he did nothing though. He just kept on moving. Word reached Hiruzen Sarutobi. It was the fastest he ever got out of his chair, as he made his way through the halls, finally arriving towards the interrogation department where they brought him. Hiruzen was confused why did they put him in here, until the commander that sent him started to, well, speak about his feeling. But it wasn't just him, others were there to collaborate his story. Hiruzen was confused, as he wondered where was Naruto. Where had he been? And why? Why was his top sensors saying that they felt like a monster, even greater than the Nine Tails, was going to attack the village? Perhaps something did happen out there, something big, in the weekend few days that he was gone. But Hiruzen intended to find out. However, before he could enter the room, Naruto was looking at him. But this was a one-way glass. There was no way that Naruto could actually see him, but yet his eyes were following his movements. Hiruzen entered inside as Naruto focused on the man. "Old man, it's good to see you." He could immediately tell that something was wrong, despite not doing anything but just greeting him. Hiruzen could almost instantly tell that something was off. It was his eyes. His eyes just looked so different. However, he wanted to know what was going on, as he was unaware that one of the most dangerous beings in the entire universe was sitting at his table. However, Naruto being back in the world would trigger events that would cause more than just death. Beyond that concept as well, because while Naruto seek revenge on the Otsutsukis, they wish to extinguish him. He's been gone for a long time, and they have made sure that if he does return, they would be able to destroy him. But this time around, Naruto's mind was different. No longer simply arrogant because he was a powerful being. He wasn't Jashin anymore. He wasn't even going by the name. So they will be remarkably surprised once they are aware of his existence, being in the world once again. But guys, be in subscribe right here. If you want to see part 2, just go ahead and tell me and I'll be posting it as soon as possible. But I'm off and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.